and welcome to the Library Show. Thanks for tuning in. I'm your host, Holly Browning, and we are gearing up for an eventful autumn at the Lebanon Public Library. Today on the show, we're going to be talking about new online resources, when we have a segment on the library's most frequently asked questions, and we have an event on September 1st that is going to be really exciting, especially for Harry Potter fans. So joining me now is our juvenile librarian, Miss Stacy Books, and Stacy is going to tell us about the really exciting event.
Yeah.
So thanks for being back on the Library Show.
Well, thanks for having me again. I'm happy to be back.
So what is this Harry Potter event that everybody's talking about?
So we are calling it the Back to Hogwarts open house event.
Back to Hogwarts.
Back to Hogwarts.
I love it. Okay.
And it's going to be September 1st, like you said.
Okay.
And that's a Thursday. So we're going to
Okay.
hold it in the evening from 6 to 7:30.
6 to 7:30. And does September 1st have a significance in the book, or do we just pick that date?
Yeah, so September 1st is actually the first day of term for students at Hogwarts.
Okay, that's
Yes.
awesome.
So it has like a pretty strong connection to the story.
Okay, well that's neat.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you say open house, does that mean the event is set up so people can just come at leisure, or do they have to be there at 6 or they'll miss something?
Yes, so an open house type of event, they can drop in at any time.
Okay.
I do suggest, though, that people come earlier rather than later because all supplies will be available just until they run out.
Oh, okay. Okay,
Yes.
so that is kind of important. Okay.
Right.
And they will, what is it going to be, like different stations, or how is it going to look?
Yeah, so we'll have different stations set up where people can come and either complete like a themed craft or pick up a giveaway. We'll be doing a library-wide scavenger hunt, so that will be really fun.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and there'll even be some treats for people to take home on their way out before they go.
Well, that's nice. I like
Yeah.
treats. Yeah.
Me too.
So can you give us some examples of the like crafts or activities?
Yeah, absolutely. So first, every wizard and witch needs a wand, so that we'll have a wand station for people to take. We'll also have a station where they can pick out a house tie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. Like
so
they
the
have the
four
different houses and
Yeah, so the
Okay.
four houses in Harry Potter, there's Gryffindor, Slytherin, Ravenclaw, and Hufflepuff, and they all have different house colors.
Okay.
So they'll be able to pick out a tie that corresponds with their house. And I even brought one with me today if you want to take a look.
Oh, you brought a tie. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's all.
So we have little pre-made ties here.
Okay.
So what people will be able to do will be to glue on the stripes
Okay.
on the tie.
And
And
so
then
which one is that one?
So this is actually Slytherin house.
Okay.
It's my house.
Okay.
So that's why I have this one.
Okay.
And it actually also has a safety pin glued to
Okay.
the back. So they'll be able to like pin it to their
How fun.
shirts. So they'll be able to walk around and represent their house.
How do you know? Now this, I don't know if you know, but this is something I'm curious about. How do you know what house you would be in? Is that just kind of like what you think and you kind of pick one, or?
So I think some people definitely, so there's different attributes
Okay.
and characteristics to people that are sorted into different houses. So
Okay.
they can kind of align themselves with, yes, I know that I'm brave and I'm chivalrous. So I belong in Gryffindor house. So
Okay.
you can kind of make up what you think
Okay. That's
where
I've
you
always
would
wondered
belong.
that. Yeah. Okay.
There is also kind of a side tangent here. There is an official way to be sorted.
Okay.
So J.K. Rowling has created this publishing house called Pottermore, and
Okay.
she publishes a lot of extra stories about Harry Potter and like the world through Pottermore Online. So you can actually go on to Pottermore's website. It's just Potter, P-O-T-T-E-R, more, M-O-R-E.com. And create an account and actually be officially sorted into a
How
house.
fun though.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a site that has just all the fun extra things for
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's
Exactly.
fun.
Yeah.
And everybody loves doing those quizzes.
Absolutely.
Even I know.
Yes.
Those are so popular, Okay, well, let's see. What's this little thing you have?
So this is one of my favorite crafts that I brought that we're going to do. So this is a mini mandrake
I love
plant.
it.
Isn't
Yes,
he cute?
it's so cute.
Yeah. So people will actually be able to, everything will be made beforehand, but people
Okay.
will be able to put the different parts together.
Okay, I see
The
what you're
components of
saying.
the craft. So with the mandrake plant, since you said you read the book, you're familiar with the plant.
Yes,
but for those
yes.
who are not, so it plays a big role in the second book in the Chamber of Secrets. And the plant has great medicinal purposes.
Okay.
So in this story, it has restorative purposes where when people in the second book are petrified, there's a draft that's made from the mandrake plant that restores them back to full health.
Okay.
So in the second book, when they're in their herbology class, the students have to plant and repot the mandrake.
So what does the mandrake do? You have to tell people what is the what is their special ability or not so special ability.
So the mandrake is like a root plant that looks like a baby.
Right.
When it's in its infancy stage. And it's just kind of like this muddy, ugly thing that actually cries and screams. So the students in herbology class have to wear these like protective earmuffs.
Okay.
To protect their hearing, because when the mandrakes are fully grown, their cries are actually lethal or deadly.
Wow.
So you can't, you can only repot them in their infancy state. So that's why it looks like a little kind of crying baby here.
Right. Okay.
So it'll be a really cute little craft.
That is neat. I love
Yeah,
that.
and there'll be lots of other crafts as well. So I didn't bring an example of everything, but we'll also have a golden snitch that people can put together.
From the game that they play.
Yeah, from the Quidditch
game.
game. And they'll actually also be able to pick out a tiny mini bottle and bottle their own potion.
Fun.
During a little potions class that we're going to do.
Oh, that sounds so fun.
It's going to be fun.
Oh my goodness. So is the event geared towards a certain age or just...
So it's for all ages.
Good,
so obviously I'm an adult that loves Harry Potter,
Right,
and there are
yeah.
plenty of other ones that do too. So even if you don't have kids, if you're just a Harry Potter fan and you want to come check it out, please do.
So you don't have to feel weird then. If it's just you and you don't come with a family, you don't have to feel like you're, okay, no.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
It is
Wonderful.
for everybody.
Okay, good. And families as well. So they can, if
Right.
you want the whole family, okay, well, that's great.
Yeah.
And you said treats. Love that. Love
Yes.
that.
Yeah.
So, okay, well, what made you, and whoever else is hosting, what made you want to create this Hogwarts event?
So obviously Harry Potter is huge for libraries. It's perennially popular.
Okay.
We have probably 10 plus copies of each book, and they are all just constantly checked out.
Checked out, yeah.
So like myself, I'm a fan, and then several of our coworkers are as well. So we kind of banded together and said, hey, let's do this huge kind of like blowout event and see what kind of response we get. So I think we'll have a lot of interest. I've had a display up just right next to the circulation desk for a while now with information about the event and then other books that are read-alikes to Harry Potter, and I'm just constantly refilling that.
Okay.
So I think we'll have a lot of interest.
And all of this information will be on our website as well and on our calendar.
Yes, it's on our online calendar, and there's also a Facebook event.
There is?
Through
Okay.
the library's Facebook page.
Okay. Well, Stacy, let me ask you then, do you have a favorite book in the series?
I do. I
Okay.
feel like every Harry Potter fan has to have
Yeah.
a favorite book. So the first book is really special because it just kind of sets the stage and introduces you to most of the characters.
Right.
So I want to say the first book, but I'm actually going to say the sixth book, which is
The sixth, okay.
Yeah, it's called The Half-Blood Prince. And it's my favorite because I think that's when the story really starts to kind of take off and get a little bit more complicated.
Right.
So it's
more mature, almost.
more
a little
mature
bit?
for
Yeah.
sure. Great for older readers and adults. And then also one of my favorite characters is Severus Snape. And then you learn a lot about him and his backstory in that book. So that one's my favorite.
Right. And I just like Alan Rickman in general. So I think
he's the best.
He is.
Yeah.
Or he was. I'm sorry.
He was. Yeah.
So I just finished the series when, of course, I was sick with COVID like a couple months ago, and I had to watch something. And what better to keep you occupied.
Yeah.
But I still think my favorite would be the second book, which is The Chamber of Secrets.
Right.
I don't know why. It just seems so adventurous, and I just think it's neat. And the underground, the chamber, and
right.
it's fun.
It's
I just
very
like
fun.
that one. So
That's awesome.
Are we encouraging costumes or anything? Would that be fun?
Absolutely, yeah. So whether you just have, a Harry Potter t-shirt, if you have a full-blown robe, feel free to wear it. So I'll be wearing my Slytherin colors, which are green and silver.
Okay.
So yeah, please feel free to wear any Harry Potter related attire that you have.
Well, that's fun.
It'll be fun.
Yeah, that'll make it a lot more fun too. I love that. So do we require people to sign up? And I think you already answered that when you said probably it's an open house. So no.
Right. So yeah, not requiring anybody to sign up.
Okay.
So we are prepping for about 100 people.
Ooh.
So hopefully we get a good turnout. I think we will. We've had a lot of good feedback from the display I made.
Okay.
In the Facebook event, there's been a lot of interest.
On
that. So, and the good thing about all of these crafts are, they'll stand the test of time. So if we have extra supplies left over, we can easily duplicate this event. And if we happen to have so many people and not enough crafts, we'll know for next time, maybe we need to double it.
Right,
so.
right. So I'm excited for this event. I think it'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Will you remind us of the date and time again?
Yes, it's Thursday, September 1st from 6 to 7:30.
Okay.
And everything will be up on the main floor, so where the circulation desk is.
So right up where all the action is. That will be where Hogwarts will be. Right?
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah,
okay.
we'll have it all decorated with colors and floating candles, and it'll just be really fun.
Well, that'll be fun. All right. Well, Stacy, thank you for creating this event and for being here to tell us about it.
I'm happy to. This is the best part of my job is
getting
to create programs and events that resonate with the community. So
okay, well,
thank
great.
you.
So hopefully we will see everybody at Hogwarts on September 1st. And thank you again for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Up next, my co-host Mike Kletzley will be here to show us a new online resource.
Say with me, imagine what you'd see if every child had a book to read.
So the mission is for us to get a book to each and every child.
So let's join hands, book people unite, unearth hidden passion. Come on, we'll have a good time.
One book can be the first of a million, helps to change a life. Book people unite.
Read to a child today and spark a lifetime of ambition.
Operation Wonder Park is a go!
There's nothing more powerful than imagination. But don't just imagine. Use STEM to change the world.
Who's with me?
Oh, it's gonna hurt tomorrow.
If she can STEM, so can you. Find out more at She Can STEM.
Hi, and welcome back to the Library Show. I'm joined now by my co-host Mike Kletzley, who's going to show us some helpful tutorials that we have on our online resources. What do you got for us today, Mike?
Well, Holly, tutorials are very good tools to use to get some knowledge on how to do stuff. So we thought today we would go into our website, our library website, and look at the tutorials on there.
Okay, so where can we find these tutorials?
Well, the first thing you want to do is you want to set up your internet to look for Lebanon Library.org.
Okay, so just our website.
Our website, LebanonLibrary.org. And then you click on Online Resources, which is toward the right of the banner up top.
Okay.
And then once you go to the online resources, there are tons, and we've talked about these on our other shows before. There's tons of library websites.
There's tons. Things that even surprise us that are on there, right?
Yes. But for today's show, we want to go to Niche Academy, which is down toward the bottom half.
Niche Academy.
Niche Academy, N-I-C-H-E.
Okay.
And if we hit that, we will have a ton of tutorials come up for us. And we thought, Holly, for the first set, we would look at Google because that helps us to learn a lot of other things too.
Right. And,
so we can click on the word or the letter G. If we click on that, the very first one that comes up is the Google tutorial. And you can see that they have a lot of topics under it. It goes from Gmail down to Google Drive, which is kind of their documents.
Right.
And then it has Google Docs, which are specific documents. And then the Google Sheets, which is kind of like a spreadsheet.
Okay.
And then another one they have is forms, which are preset. Like if you're doing a garage sale or an invitation, this would help you cut back on all the artwork you have to put in.
Really?
It's kind of all set ahead
Okay.
of time, and then you just fill in details. The Google Slides are kind of like a PowerPoint. So
Like
if you have a
PowerPoint, like
PowerPoint,
okay.
Yep. And then Google Photos is pretty self-explanatory, and I think you and I talked earlier. That's becoming pretty popular.
It is. It
With
is
your
absolutely.
genealogy, maybe too, as well.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, I store all my photos. Yeah.
On there?
Yep. Yep.
So if we go back up to Gmail, since that one is pretty popular, we thought we'd hit that. And once that comes up, you'll see that there's an arrow there, which means this is a presentation, like an audio-video presentation of a tutorial.
Okay.
So they'll walk you through Gmail if you click that button.
So they walk you, like basically that one would be, they would walk you through setting up an email account, which
Right.
we do get a lot of questions about that in the
do.
tech center. Okay.
We do. And a lot of our patrons that are kind of stuck at home per se, whether it's COVID or sickness, can reach out to their grandchildren and things with those.
Oh, absolutely.
Emails.
Right. And it's, the tutorials, a lot of people are visual learners.
Right.
So, I mean, if you just give a piece of paper to someone and say, well, this is the steps on how you
Right.
set up an email or set up, your Google Docs, it's a little bit more difficult than showing them with an actual tutorial.
Right.
So, yeah.
So I think these will really help a lot of people out.
Okay. That's
But
great.
if you go on the right side and you want to skip around, you don't have to go in order of the whole tutorial. Let's say you already know how to create an account and you've
Okay.
got one. So you could skip that part and you could go down to the sending and the replying to emails. And then this part would come up. And it's still a tutorial. You can see it changing on the screen, but it doesn't have you seeing things you already know how to do. So
Okay.
you save a lot of time.
So you can kind of skip to that segment, basically.
Right.
You don't have to, okay, well, that's
Right.
awesome.
Or maybe if you forgot your password, it'll tell you how to reset it. So let's say you really understand all of Gmail, but you just lost your password and you want to be back on Gmail.
Right.
So this would enable you just to skip to that part of the tutorial.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big issue, especially when patrons come in and use our computers.
Right.
A lot of the time, since they don't recognize, they want they want to verify, your
Exactly.
information.
Yep.
And a lot of people do not have their password, you know what I mean?
Right.
It's not, yes, so they always you have to do a new one, you have to have your phone with you.
Exactly.
And knowing how to reset a password, that's very helpful.
It is. And we get a lot of those questions at the library.
Yes.
And you spoke about phones. A lot of people say, well, I'm going on a trip. I still want to do email. How do I do it for my Apple or my Android? And this would walk you through making sure you can still get Gmail on your mobile device.
Oh, wow.
So
Okay.
this has a lot of features you may not even realize it does.
Right.
Yeah.
And your Google account, that's another thing too, is your Google account connects you to all,
Right.
yes, that's neat.
Exactly. Now let's say you've done enough with the Google and you want to see what else there is. We're going to go backwards.
Okay.
And we're still in Niche Academy. You can see that because it has online resources and it has tutorials still there. So we
Okay.
know we're under Niche Academy. But let's say we wanted to go to Pinterest. So
Ooh,
we would
my
hit the
favorite.
P. Yeah, I thought you might like it.
Yes.
So we hit P for Pinterest.
Okay.
And the very first one, this is coincidental. It's not always the one that you're hoping for, but the first one again is Pinterest.
Okay.
Now this one, some of these resources don't have the word or the box tutorial next to them.
Okay.
And there's technical reason, I'm not sure what it is.
Okay.
So we're not going to answer that. But the
Right.
bottom line is if you don't see the tutorial underneath, you can
It's
hit
just-
use this resource.
Right. It's about probably the same.
It's the same.
It takes you to the same place.
Yeah, it'll
Okay.
still be. And you can see the arrow there, which means it's a presentation coming.
Okay.
So you might even help us a little bit more because I don't know much about Pinterest.
Right.
So can you tell us why they'd be interested in that?
The way that I explain Pinterest is, back in the day, you would have it if you would make a vision board, or you would make something, you would take ideas and put them all into different categories, and you would
Okay.
save them for later to pop up later.
Okay.
Well, this is just the digital version of that, which stores all kinds of ideas, and the ideas come from everywhere. So Pinterest has made everyone a super crafter and a super chef and a super, just all kinds of things.
Okay.
The ideas that people share are awesome.
Okay.
And it's a lot of fun. So many things that we do even in our classes are from Pinterest.
Yeah.
I've got so many book club ideas from Pinterest, and
Really?
it's very easy to use. And yeah, it's just you can share, you can put your ideas on there and share them with other people, and then they
Nice.
get pins. So basically you're pinning articles and pictures to a board that you create.
A
And that-
digital board.
Right, a digital board. And that board might say house remodel or bedroom remodel, things like that,
Right.
or food recipes.
Okay.
And they have everything.
So the
it's really
ideas
neat.
come from around the world, and you can take the ones that you like and employ them, and it's all free?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's awesome.
Pinterest is free.
So there's footprints of Pinterest in all that we do at the library is what you're saying. We
Oh, yeah.
pull a lot
And
of stuff
everything,
in.
and ideas. I mean, that's just, it's like a place where people share the ideas to do really neat things and all kinds of neat things. And they share, I even have a board that I made, and I'm sure that's what the tutorials show you how to do, is create your own, your profile and your boards and stuff.
Right.
That has old toys from like the 80s and the 90s, and people share pictures of what they had.
Growing
and I have
up.
this, yes, it's so neat.
That's really
So,
cool.
yeah.
So, and the ideas are pretty good ones because they've gotten to this point.
Oh,
They've
yes.
been vetted by others.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's neat.
And
okay.
there's professionals it's not just, it's professional people as well that share different ideas.
That's neat.
Yeah.
So Pinterest does have a lot of a following, doesn't it?
Yes.
So if we wanted to learn more about it, we could learn over here about creating a site, or maybe just about the browser itself. And again, if you're looking for Pinterest on your phone, I assume that's why it has Android and
Right,
Apple, because
right,
you can do it on your phone. So an intro, an overview, everything. So again, you could start this from the beginning, or you could jump in the middle.
In the middle, right.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
that's awesome.
So that's that. And then pretty much anything else that you would want, I'll just scroll. I'll go backwards to, this is Niche Academy again. And if you started with A, and I'll just fly through it very quickly. There
Yeah,
are
you can just tell us
28
what there's.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's 28 different,
Oh, okay. Well, yeah,
ones.
that's a lot. Okay.
and I'll hit
So
this.
what about, do they have, you don't have to check on them, but what about, social media? Do they have those on there if
They
somebody?
do.
Okay.
They have Facebook. They
Okay,
have
there you go.
Twitter.
Okay.
They have, I'm forgetting at least one.
Do they, Instagram, I think I saw that
Instagram, I
they did
think,
have
yeah.
Instagram. Okay.
Yep, there it is right there.
Okay.
Yep, so they do have social media, and again, if you want to learn about those at any point in that process, you don't have to start at the beginning, you can jump in.
That's really nice.
It is, saves a lot of time.
We have been asked, how do I start a Facebook account?
Right.
Some of us know, but that is excellent.
Yeah,
that
it
just
is.
kind of, yeah.
It's really neat. And like I said, there's 20 some on the whole list, so it wouldn't be very quickly exhausted, is what I'm saying. You would have a lot of learning to do just on the tutorials.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they're all available for free. That's
For free, as long as they start on our website. As
wonderful.
long as they go through our website. Yep.
All right.
That's it.
All right. Well, thank you for showing us that,
Thank
Mike.
you.
That's another great resource added to our online catalog that we just found.
Right.
We just now found, and we
Right.
thought it was wonderful to share with our patrons.
Yeah, so we're still learning too.
Exactly.
Yep.
All right. Well, thanks
Thank
for
you.
being here.
Thank
All
you.
right. And coming up next, we will have a segment on the library's most frequently asked questions. Stay tuned.
When you are in space, you can't run down to the store to buy parts. You have to improvise with what you have on your mission. Making is when there is something new that was not in existence at the beginning of the day.
Okay.
It's an incredible sense of accomplishment when you have made something. That's why I make. Now I want to hear why you make.
Share your own Why I Make story today. Visit whyimake.org.
There's a lot of fear in coming back to school. I'm a 40-year-old man that walked in there to get his high school diploma. It was very hard for me, but one of the teachers was Miss Araceli. She gave me direction. Every single time I had a question, she'll put down whatever she's doing and she'll sit there with you until you get it. 50% of getting your high school diploma is walking through those doors. The other 50% is doing the work.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Hello and welcome back to the Library Show. I'm joined now by my co-host Holly Browning, who is here to help us answer some frequently asked questions, FAQs, Holly.
FAQs, that's right.
FAQs.
Yeah.
So what is the number one? Let's start with the circulation desk because that's
Okay.
kind of where the hub of activity is.
It is,
Everything
it is.
circulates around it.
Right,
Sorry.
right.
Couldn't help that. What is their number one question, Holly?
Well, that is the place where, obviously, circulation, the books go in, and they're checked in, they're checked out.
Right.
It's the main hub, basically. It's where you would go to ask questions. And, of course, the number one question usually is, what do you think?
I believe it has to do with the library card.
It does. It is, how do I sign up for a library card?
Right.
Okay, and or what do I need? That sort of thing.
Right. So what do they need to get that done? Because a lot of people are still without a library card. And we're trying
which
to
is
change
surprising.
That.
Right. You need a current Ohio ID.
Okay.
Or if you just moved to the area, you do need a piece of mail or something that has your name on it with your new address.
Okay, so one or the other is fine.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And then what about kids? Because a lot of times kids want to get their own library card, especially in the summertime when they're doing this library summer reading program.
Right.
So what do they have to do?
That's such a good idea as well.
It is.
It would be children under 5. We usually just kind of stay on their parents. And when they get a little older, kids 5 to 12 basically would need the same thing that we would need from the adults. So they would be kind of like their sponsor or their representative.
Okay.
So from the adult, we would need either an Ohio photo ID or a new piece of mail that has their name and their current address on it.
Okay.
So it's kind of like they're standing in as their surety.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Yeah.
So the same thing as an adult card, but the child can have one with that same information from the adult.
Right.
Okay.
Right. And then and that's such a good idea, just because it creates autonomy for the child, and it's something that we love to see their little faces when they bring their card up and they have their books, and it's something that they can learn to manage on their own. I like that idea.
I do too, and I think as a youngster, I would have liked to read a book knowing I got it on my card.
On your account. That's your first, and I remember for my son, we had to get like a little wallet, and there was like the little, ice cream cards, and then like library card, but it's fun.
Reading and ice cream, what more do you need a card for?
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right. Well, we move from the circulation desk to the information desk, which is, if you're facing circulation, it's off to the right.
Right.
Bigger desk area back there, and that's where people go for information, obviously. All kinds of stuff.
Information.
All kind of stuff.
Right.
So what would their number one question, do you think, be?
So the information desk, of course, they get asked a lot of information.
Right.
And there were 2 really good ones that the information desk supervisor told me about.
Okay.
And one I was kind of surprised about. It was about book donations, but I know that we do hear that a lot.
Right.
So how can someone donate, books that they have to the library?
Right.
And do we accept books, to the right. And the answer to that is yes. There's a little more to that, though. We do accept. We love that the public thinks of us and wants to donate the books, to us.
Right.
But we usually like to have, a little bit more background information, kind of basically for storage reasons. For one, we do not have a lot of storage space.
Right.
So we need to know kind of, are you talking a truckload or just, what are you wanting to donate? And that, that helps.
Yeah.
And there's also the fact that we like to donate books to the charities that we support and different areas. So I know one is Project Read, which our tech supervisor is involved in.
Yes.
There's Interfaith Network.
Right.
And there is it's called the Spring Valley Library. And that library is run completely on donations and volunteers. Isn't that neat?
That is neat.
So we like to, add to their collection as well. So it can be, shipped to different areas.
Right.
We'll certainly take them. The only thing that we cannot guarantee is that if you're wanting to donate a book to add to our collection, we just can't. There's a lot of factors that go in what we put, out for patrons to check out, such as wear and tear, age, that sort of thing. Is it out of print? So we cannot guarantee that, but you would just have to let us know if that's something that you were wanting for that donation.
Sure, and that's understandable.
Right.
So that's their number one question, is book donation.
Right. And let's see, another big question, and this was one that a service that I actually used that's really neat. A lot of people do not know that if we do not have a book, that you don't see a book that you want on our shelves, can we get that book for you? Is there a book that we can get for you from another place, or can we add it? That sort of thing.
Yeah.
So we always like to say the public has a say in what we have in our library
it's a public
collection.
Library.
It's a public library, right? So what you would do when you don't see one and you want to find it, or you're going to go to the information desk, right? And you get a little green slip that you're going to fill out with, your name, your library card number, your contact information, and the book that you're interested in reading.
Okay.
Okay. Also, it's a $1 service, right?
To get that started.
To get that started, just to get that going. And then the librarians there at the info desk will do, it's one of 3 things. Okay. So what they can do is they can do an interlibrary loan, which I didn't know that they could do.
Yeah, that's
I
neat.
thought that was really neat.
Yeah.
I was looking for a book, one of my favorite books when I was maybe in 7th grade, junior high. And they didn't have it at the library, so I was speaking to one of the librarians, and she said, well, just make it a book order for it, and we'll find it. Okay.
So you learn something new every day.
Right. So they ended up ordering it from another library. That library sends it to our library. Then we contact the patron, and they come and pick it up, check it out just like a regular library book. When it comes back in, we send it back.
Wow, that's really, so it's like 2 libraries working together.
Right.
That's really neat.
So, we get requests from other libraries as well if, we have something that they don't have.
And we try to fill those.
Right.
So that's one option. You said there's 2 more?
That's one, yes. So the second one is we'll purchase it and add it to our own collection.
Nice.
It's something that, oh, well, that looks good. We're just going to go ahead and add that to the shelf.
Nice.
Right.
So that other people after
other people
can
right.
learn from it too.
Right. But if we do order it, you'll be the first in line.
Nice.
When you're contacted when it comes in,
Right.
and then it's just put on the shelf.
Nice.
And the third would just be, for some reason, out of print is a big one.
Right.
Older, we can't get that request for you.
Make it happen.
And then and then we would notify you, from the way that your contact information basically.
Right.
And just so everyone knows, we usually, and that's how the library does contact people, is by text, email, or a mail flyer. Unfortunately, we can't call everyone because we just, that would take a lot of manpower, a lot of time. So we try to do, how we contact you when your books are ready and things like that.
Right.
So.
Well, that's neat. So you got a pretty good shot at getting something you're interested in.
You really do.
One of those 2 options.
You really do.
That let you get it.
And you would be surprised that, some libraries have all kinds of quirky collections.
Right.
You can pretty much, Yeah.
Okay, so it doesn't hurt to ask is the bottom line for that.
Right. And you are notified, and it can take 2 weeks or so sometimes, depending on where the book is coming from.
Right.
So, but the patron is notified as soon as it comes in. So
that's good.
Yeah.
Well, now moving downstairs to the tech center where you and I work.
Yeah.
We know that center the best.
Yes, we do.
What do you think our number 1 question is?
Can I print from my phone?
Bingo. That's the one. You've gotten that before?
Oh, I've heard that. A couple times, yeah.
A couple times. So what's the answer to that one?
Well, wireless printing is a huge thing that we offer. It's great. Your smartphone, if it's connected to our Wi-Fi, will usually, I say usually because there are some phones that are a little older, maybe nicely. A little quirk, right. But if you're connected to our Wi-Fi, and if it finds our printer, usually it'll work. Now there are some days where you might have to do something like send an email to the printer in place of like the print.
Right.
But that's all things that we can walk you through down at the tech center.
Got it.
When you come down, we will help you and show you.
So wireless printing, the answer is yes. But the longer answer is come talk to us and we'll walk you through it and make sure it's up to date and all that.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, in most, I would say 85% of the time, it does work, as you know. I mean, there are some older phones maybe that people have that just, they don't want to do anything.
Right.
So they're kind of done. Yeah.
Right. So that's the number 1 question. Can I print from my phone? What do you think the number 2 question is? Or has to do with?
Let's see. I don't know. What is that?
Well, I think the number 2 one would be, can I download a book onto my device?
Oh, well, of course. Yes.
For someone who are into that e-reading now.
Right.
So how do we answer that question?
Well, that can be pretty complicated, but it doesn't need to be intimidating because, that is what we at the Tech Center are there for.
Right.
And it's very helpful if if you're looking to download, ebooks and audiobooks, especially in the summertime for people that go on trips. Audiobooks are excellent.
Right.
things like that. It's really nice when you are able to come down into the tech center and say, hey, how do you do this? And
Right.
we can one-on-one with you
Right.
and show you how to do it. And,
Yeah.
you leave and you feel, you know how to do it,
Right.
that sort of thing. For the people that are very, very tech savvy and they can just, read instructions, we do have instructions online
Right.
at LebanonLibrary.org on how to get to, the Ohio Digital Library, which is
Right.
on our online resources.
Right.
And there are times where, and we do have people that call.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes that goes well, as you know, and sometimes that can be hard because
Yeah.
you can get lost in translation.
Right.
Because
Right.
we try to see what you see,
But we're not seeing
but
it.
sometimes it can, right.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can call us and we can walk you through, but the best bet would just be come see us when you come to the library. When
Right.
you're in, just run downstairs and we'll
won't
show you
take
how
long.
to do it.
Yeah, it
right.
doesn't take too long.
Right.
Yeah.
And you won't be sorry because it's such a great, if you want to pull up when I sit for doctor's appointments, I
Yes.
pull up, I don't want to sit and scroll social media all the
Sure.
time. So I'll pull up and read my ebook. And when I have to sit in the car for something,
Mm-hmm.
I'll turn on the audiobook and,
Yeah.
you can
Let it
listen to
read
it
to
from
you.
your car.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a good way to go.
Right. And that's a big question, obviously,
Yeah.
that we get downstairs. So, yeah.
And you mentioned tech-savvy folks who might want to try it on their own. When we talked about the Niche Academy in the earlier segment, one of the offerings they have is Freeding. So they'll tutorially walk you through a Freeding setup.
Okay, yeah.
So if
that's
folks
one of
really
the apps.
want to try it on their own, they can go to Niche Academy and try it. And if they
Right.
have issues, call or come in. And like you
Right.
said, coming in is the best way.
Right.
Yep.
There's just it's not, like I said, it's not really that it's challenging so
Right.
much as just a few steps here and there, and then different, maybe like the Amazon Kindles are a little different.
Right.
There's sort of little things there that
That we can help you through.
that we
much
can help you
easier.
through. Yes.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
what we're there for.
Well, Holly, you asked our different departments for their FAQs, and
Mm-hmm.
you got answers, and I think they are going to help our patrons to know what to do in each department.
Right.
Well, great. Well, thanks for being up here, Holly, with us on
Wonderful.
that.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you, and I'll be back to close the show soon. Hi, and welcome back to the show. As always, if you have questions about anything you saw on today's show, please give us a call at the library. The number is 513-932-2665 or 932-BOOK. Also, our website is LebanonLibrary.org, so there's lots of information on there. If you need to use the tutorials, please feel free. They are very good, as we mentioned. And if you need to come see us to walk through some things for you personally, we're happy to do that. And as always, please on YouTube, like, share, and subscribe this show. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next month. And please look for our calendar online.